Well, the shocks that were rebuilt, we got them back from Fox. We had spent the rest of this day getting the vehicle ready. That night we had a driver's meeting, and at the driver's meeting it was mentioned that if you wanted to pre-run the actual qualifying course, you had to do it first thing in the morning. So we got up before dawn the next day to get out and get a really good pre-run on the qualifying course. So after a couple of laps, they decided to come in and get the car ready for qualifying. The other Canadian teams are doing the same. Man, there's a lot of preparation to get these cars ready for racing. So after a bit of wrenching, Eric decided to go test the new shock setups, maybe dial them in a little bit better. So he asked if I wanted to go. What was I going to say? No? The idea was to do a few high-speed passes on what we termed the whoops, kind of test the suspension and kind of see how everything was reacting. After a couple high-speed runs, we had to wait up for Neil from Horsepower Solutions to catch up to us. I know it doesn't look like it, but these whoops were up to 3 to 4 feet deep. The suspension was really working hard. It looked like it was pretty dialed in. It was about this time when we started to notice that the engine was missing a little bit, so we decided to head back and see what was going on. So as soon as we got back to the garage, the guys started looking into why the engine was having some issues. But we also got a call from one of the other teams. Kyle was doing some pre-running with them, and they had run out of fuel, so we had to go out and help them out. Where we had to go was just beyond where everyone was starting to gather for the Holly EFI shootout event.
Okay, I can hear you guys say that Kyle's at the top of the hill. Hop in, sir. Might as well get in, save yourself some walking.
What's that?
I'll get up to, how far down the other side is it?
It's around there and then it's just up over the top and down. It's not far.
Okay. That way and then back down the other way, or you can find it that way?
I know it is right up there.
It was at this point right here when I realized I'm not in shape. I was huffing and puffing keeping up to these two guys going up the hill, and I wasn't even carrying a gas tank.
Coming up.
Yeah. He hucked it from this side coming this way, right?
What's that?
He came this way,
I
right?
think so, yeah. Hucked the weed out here somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool try. So after successfully bringing fuel to the car that ran out, we had to make our way back to the pits. On the way back, we can see all the vehicles making their way to the Holly EFI shootout. Well, this looked like a bunch of fun.
Okay.
The shootout is a very hard, short course where ultimately you got to make it to the top of a huge rock. Well, there was a lot of carnage that ensued. Well, after a great night, we had to turn in. Spent a little bit of time by the campfire, or smudge pot in this case, and then turned in. We were bound and determined to see what was going on with the motor in the morning.
Alright, so what started as a little bit of a misfire turned into an engine tick and also a blown water pump. So the boys are working double time trying to get that going. Here's the big thing. We have qualifying today at 2 o'clock, and as of right now it's 11:22. Yeah, we don't have a lot of time, so I don't think there's a short-term solution for fixing this engine up the way they were hoping to. So I think they're gonna button it up, make it do as best as it can, and get into qualifying. I do believe they have a backup motor that they can swap into there for the actual race. So yeah, always entertaining. That's racing. We were thinking, man, everything's ready to go. Man, we got this dialed in. Yeah, and then the racing gods throw us a curveball. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting day to get to the line for 2 o'clock for qualifying.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, here's an update. The motor in the race car is shot. Pretty much within about 6 minutes of driving, it started developing a really bad knock. Motor's not good. Anyways, so Eric is going to pull out of the race, being that it's in 2 days. It's just not worth either blowing up this motor or putting a new one in for the moment. So we are going to call it what it is. I guess that's racing, and support the teams that are here. There's 3 other Canadian teams right around us. There's other Canadian teams that are here as well, but we all came around and kind of shared the same compound. So we're just going to support those teams and try and help them finish the finish line, get across the finish line, and make the best of this situation. Bummer news, but guess we'll have to be back next year.
So heading out to the cell phone bush to make the announcement that we will not be racing in King of the Hammers this year. So there's barely enough cell service out there, but it will suffice. And Eric, you've got a great attitude, my friend. Despite all the effort you've put in, you have one of the best attitudes I've ever seen in a person. You know, my hat's off to you. Just to go to show how good Eric is, he is staying to make sure all the Canadian teams have a fighting chance of crossing the finish line. That is the sign of a true warrior, right there. I mean, he's doing what he can to make sure all the Canadian teams make it. So, man, my hat off to you, sir. Anyways, Wednesday, beginning of the day, everyone's a little bit deflated, but you know, we get back into the mix of things. What's really kind of cool is I'm actually driving through bomb craters right now to get to the cell phone tree or cell phone bush. Yeah, the U.S. military uses this area to drop bombs, and it's kind of fun actually. They make a nice way to actually have some fun out here. So we got some nasty wind blowing in. Here, let me reverse the camera view. Totally can't see a thing. That's what you call a sandstorm.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tune in for the next episode, where we actually help the Canadian teams try and get across the line.